Sharing one.
I'm Ray.
Candace.
Welcome to Unpacking Coffee.
First episode of season 3.
Juniors. Roasted coffee.
Juniors.
Roasted
Juniors.
coffee. Coffee.
This week, coffee roasted.
Juniors roasted coffee. So we're starting off here in our hometown in Portland with a local roaster who's been here for about 3 years. They have Juniors roasted coffee, and then they also have a cafe called Gilder.
Can I see your notes?
I had that nice conversation with Caryn and Mike Nelson, who, by the way, I actually met them years and years ago, maybe 15 years ago, at a little place called Food for Thought Cafe at Portland State University. We were there because there was a lot of love and attention to detail, and it's really exciting to think about some of those same people bringing all of that to coffee here in the city.
Hi, I'm Caryn Nelson, and I'm the co-founder and co-owner of Juniors Roasted Coffee and Gilder, which is a cafe. Just celebrated a 3-year anniversary, and we started Juniors in 2014 in Tallahassee, Florida. So previously we were living in New York, and when we decided to move to Florida, we were a little hesitant about making that move. Didn't know anyone within like a 4-state radius. You know, Mike was going to be going into a program that was in geography.
My name is Mike Nelson. I am a co-founder and partner.
He was studying under a professor who was interested in his previous research in coffee pest and disease, and wanted to continue that research in Indonesia, actually. Start roasting coffee as a way to get to know the community and kind of have a project on the side in case we didn't make any friends while we were there. Our partners are Toby Roberts, who Mike and I met when we were working at a student-run cafe at Portland State called Food for Thought in like 2003, 2004. Is that how you know us?
So much fun.
Food for Thought is where I got into coffee in the first place. Started doing a Stumptown training and cupped coffee, and that was it. Being a barista was going to be the coolest thing in the world, but then I cupped coffee and it changed everything, you know.
Mike met our fourth partner, Carrie Lind, working at Stumptown downtown, so that's where they originally connected. We were kind of thinking about this idea of roasting. The idea was that it would be a project that the two of us would be involved in. We don't have kids or plan to, so we wanted something that was reflective of us, and being able to contribute to something together that will hopefully last a long time. Juniors was also the name of the 1.5 kilo roaster that we started roasting on, so it was Juniors Roasted Coffee, and when we came up with the name, we knew that Portland had Juniors Cafe, but we're like, we're not going to be in Portland, we're going to start this thing in Florida. Right. So it was fine at the time, and then coming back, and originally we were only looking to open a roastery space, not a cafe, and we had pursued a location in North Portland that fell through at the end of last year, and then we're introduced to the space in the Lion Building. Could not have a cafe there. We were signing the lease and chatting about the owners, how they have a few different companies and how they decide on their legal name, and one of their names was Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
And we're like, oh, are you fans of Princess Bride? Because we are, and we're like, we actually played it at our wedding.
Inconceivable.
And they're like, oh, we played it at our wedding too.
Inconceivable!
So Carrie, our partner, said, what about Gilder as the name for the cafe? And then we're like, okay, let's run with that.
What I was studying before Florida State was sustainability science. used coffee is my every case study of every paper that I wrote at Florida State University. Started focusing on the cost to produce a pound of green coffee at origin. The goal is to raise consumer awareness of just how costly it is to produce a pound of roasted coffee. I think that coffee, we should be paying more for coffee. We've been saying that for a while, but I want to be able to show why and open those numbers and show people those numbers in a very showable way.
So do you remember when we first saw their design? It wasn't here in Portland.
No, I think we saw their design at the design lab at the SCA.
Last year, yeah. So they were one of the few coffee bags represented, and it really caught our eye. Turns out they were here in the city and designed by our friend Elizabeth Chai.
I'm Liz Chai. I am a coffee graphic designer.
Did you indeed design this coffee package here?
I did, and I have a strong focus on illustration, so I was allowed to bring that out in this particular project, which was really exciting for me. When I first met Mike and Caryn and we talked about the idea of what Juniors was and what it represented, it really made a lot of sense for me to treat it as sort of envisioning it as their baby. So I kind of brought in some playful element, sort of imagining the imagination of a child. There's a modular element to the branding, so there's actually not one single logo. We decided each producer would get its own package. So currently we have 3 that were printed, but we're going to max it out, I think, at 7 or 9. So again, this also works with the identity. There are 7 colors that we have as part of the branding.
I read somewhere that there are like 40 variations of the identity.
Are there?
Is there?
Well, it might be 7, but then in variations of colors of each of the 7 or something. So it added up to a lot. I also really like surprises and surprising people. So there are a lot of elements of the packaging, the whole system that Mike and Caryn didn't really know about. I have been revealing bits and pieces of the thought that went into each illustration and the whole system. It's been kind of fun to see their reaction.
All right, well, thanks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Look at that.
That was good. It cleared it,
yeah. I'm not going to hit. I'm not going to hit my plant.
All right, did you want to throw anything?
I
you're okay.
changed.
Okay.
I guess I could throw this at you.
Okay.